Welcome back, Northwest.
On this week's episode, we'll be highlighting a special testing opportunity for you.
We'll also be honoring our beloved civil rights activist and role model through the Day of Service.
This week in sports, we'll be featuring Northwest's very own powerlifting team.
Then, Ryan has a special New Year's surprise for you.
Stay tuned into this week's episode of The Focus. Happy Friday, Northwest.
We know high school is made to prepare us for our journey into the rest of our lives.
For some of us, that means college. For others, it means moving straight into the workforce.
The ACT Workkeys is a wonderful opportunity for those interested in diving straight forward into the workforce right after high school.
Watch as Ms. Reynolds gives a special insider on the upcoming ACT Workkeys.
Workkeys is designed for any student that is going into the workforce. You know, all students have different paths, whether it's college or right into the workforce. So the work keys allow students to take a test and demonstrate to the employer that they have the skills necessary to be successful in that field. It's based on your skill level. So you can get a certificate for gold, silver, or bronze. And if you score lower on one section, you can only take that section over. So it depends on how well you do, and you can retake. And you can also take that certificate to your employer to show that you are ready and you are career ready. We have given it this year. They will send someone out to test you, or also you can reach out to Hines and they'll set up a time for you to come out and take the Workkeys. So anytime you want to take the Workkeys, we can help you. So come see the counselor, come see admin, and we'll find you what you need.
Every year on the third Monday of January, the United States observes Martin Luther King Day.
King was a very important activist during the civil rights movement of the South in the late 1950s through the 1960s, as he rallied for equality through the form of peaceful protests.
On January 20th, 1968, the first official Martin Luther King Jr. Day was established. King will forever be remembered as a pioneer for the civil rights movement of America. Through his advocacy for nonviolent protests, the history of how we speak and stand up for our rights will be changed forever. He has inspired how we protest even today. Not only was he a key activist during the movement, King was also a servant of his community. When he wasn't rallying in the streets for equal rights, King was often found preaching at Ebenezer Baptist Church. As a large part of his influence, King and the SCLC worked with the NAACP to organize the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Dr. King once said that not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service. Dr. King's advocacy should serve as a reminder to us all to constantly try and improve our community, just as he did.
So, free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty! We are free at last! Freedom! Freedom!
And now we'll throw it to sports with Jaden.
Hey guys, I'm Jaden, and here's what's been happening in Cougar sports. Soccer wrapped up the regular season last night as it honored its senior players and hosted Terry. The girls came into this week with a 15-1-4 record and 4-0 in district play. They haven't lost since December 1st and tied 2 in the month of December, 1-1 to Tupelo and 0-0 to Ocean Spring, the team the Cougars defeated for the South State Championship last year. They had a hallmark win over rival Madison Central last Thursday, topping the Jags 2-1. The boys were 14-4-1 and 4-0 in district play coming into this week. They had a 7-match win streak snapped from Oxford on January 7th, but bounced back with a 3-0 win over Pearl. Both teams have a bye in the first round of the playoffs and will host a second round at Cougars Field next Tuesday, January 24th. The basketball season is also winding down, but the Cougars aren't slowing down any. The girls came into this week with a 12-10 record and undefeated in district play. They had a huge win over Pearl, 66-40 last Tuesday. The boys were 15-7 and 2-0 in district play coming into this week. They faced off with Yazoo City in the Rumble in the South Monday night and lost a tough one, 44-42. The Cougars traveled to Warren Central on Tuesday and will host Terry in a district meeting tonight. Girls start at 6 p.m., boys follow at 7:30. Bowling also wrapped up its regular season this week against Terry. The boys are 8-1 and the girls are 6-3 and both defeated Pearl last week. They will compete in the Region 2 Class 3 tournament on January 27th. Finally, powerlifting is one of those little-known sports at Northwest Rankin, but the Cougars are still making big moves. Last year, our girls powerlifting team made a comeback after a few years on hiatus, and Sam Bardo finished in the top 3 of the state. Alexis and I are headed out to talk to the powerlifting coaches and try our hand at powerlifting. Let's see what happened.
Good afternoon, Coach Nichols. I'm here with the powerlifting coach for Northwest Rankin High School and Middle School. So, Coach Nichols, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. First question I'd like to know is, how are you preparing the girls and the boys for the 2023 competition season?
Okay, one of the ways that we kind of prepare them is just you get them in and you take them from the basics of making sure they understand the lifting all the way through getting themselves prepared, which we have uniforms that we wear, powerlifting suits. You want to get them comfortable before you get in them, and then you get into them, and then it's kind of just lifting all the way through the rest of it. But if you can get them comfortable lifting and then get them comfortable lifting in their uniforms, usually you have a pretty good chance of being pretty good.
All right, and what are you as a coach preparing yourself to get these kids ready for competition?
Okay, for me, it's all about making sure that we go through our process. We have a process that we go through, and it's important as a coach that you don't skip steps as much as you want to try to get those kids to the weight or the max that you may want. A lot of times it still takes patience. So for us, for me, I do the boys, and Coach Phillip Poole, he does the girls. So it's important not to skip steps and take your time and get them to where they need to be. And if you do it the right way, they'll be there, they'll be where they need to be without injury.
All right, and what is a piece of advice you can tell for anyone that is new joining the team or that's wanting to try out, just to help them understand how important the team is and what they really need to prepare for what's coming up for them?
Mentally it's a lot, physically it's a lot. You have to be prepared, and you got to be able to understand that, especially as a first year lifter, you're going to deal with a lot mentally that you really got to prepare for powerlifting. It's not so much about how much weight you can do, but how much you can do technique-wise safely.
All right, thank you so much, Coach Nichols. Back to you, Jaden.
Well, that's it for sports this week. Back to you, McKenna and Avery.
One of our favorite things to do each time the New Year's rolls around is to make lots and lots of resolutions.
So this year, we decided to ask you what your resolutions were. Come with Ryan to see all the inspirational, questionable, and maybe even completely unrealistic New Year's resolutions.
What was your New Year's resolution?
Get all A's and focus more on football.
To hit 515.
Make more money. To get my own place.
To get a new car and make a whole bunch of money.
To be happy. My New Year's resolution is to PR in the 400.
I want to hit 350 bench press this year.
To set better boundaries for myself and to actually honor the boundaries. Because a lot of times I set them, but not really honor them and let people kind of walk all over them. So this year, I'm going to set the boundaries and honor them.
My New Year's resolution is to stop drinking Mountain Dew.
Hey, Ryan, what's your New Year's resolution? What's your New Year's resolution? What's your new resolution? You put the mic up to you.
Put the mic up and say it again.
What's your New Year's resolution? What's your New Year's resolution?
Bro, I'll get to mine at the end.
Come on,
This
man.
ain't the end.
That's it for this week.
Be sure to follow all of our social media for updates, extra content, and the newest episodes.
We'll see you next week.